Hey guys, it's Raven and I'm here with a video to tell you how to get into vet school. So I won't go into my journey. I'll go into that in another video. If you want to hear about it, just post it down in the comments and I will get that video out for you guys. But today I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and simple and talk about how to get into vet school. So you want to start with your undergrad. Undergrad is important. Your grades are important. A lot of schools have posted on their website what GPA they are looking for, and you just need to aim for that or higher so you can get into that school. Good impressions are important, especially to your professors. You could use them for references on your applications, and they can also help you with advice if they know the route of med school and vet school and stuff like that. So that's very helpful. Prereqs, prereqs, prereqs. And if you don't know what I'm saying, it's prerequisites. You need those. You cannot get into school without having the proper prereqs. The VMCAS, which is the application that you apply on, they go into some of the prerequisites that you need for some of the schools, but if you want to be certain, I will go to the schools that you're most interested in and go to their website and match those prereqs they have on their website to your classes and make sure they accept your classes. Because I had an instance where I took nutrition at Colorado State and Texas A&M did not accept that as the nutrition prerequisite. So I would have to take another class in order to apply to that school. Now it's time for experience. I would start experience as soon as possible. It can be you shadowing a veterinarian, you can work in an animal shelter, but just make sure that a part of your experience is actually working underneath a veterinarian. I understand a lot of you want to volunteer at animal shelters or help with local food drives for the animal shelter and stuff like that, but you also need to be under a veterinarian. That sounds gross. You also need to shadow under a veterinarian or work alongside a veterinarian. Diverse experience is important as well. Make sure you're working with small animals. You can be working with exotics as well as zoo, wildlife, anything you can get your hands into, literally and figuratively. Come on, you're in vet school, you know what I'm talking about. You want to do it. So now it's time for the VMCAS application. Yay, that's my favorite part. Not really. So that one, you pretty much, it's very self-explanatory. You follow the steps, they tell you what to do, you put it in, it's a done deal. Everything that you've been doing for the past 4-5 years, just put it into the application and you'll be set. You'll be golden. So now that you've gotten the VMCAS application out of the way, you apply to the schools you wanted, you pay the fees, there are a lot of fees, and you pay the fees. Now you're like, just the waiting game, like, did I get an interview? You don't know. You can wait for a couple months. You're just sitting there. It's the wait game, pretty much. So finally you start getting those emails. I heard some people got they got phone calls when they got in, but anyway, I'll get into that later. So you'll finally get emails, and those emails will be like, sorry, I regret to inform you that we did not accept you for the interview process this cycle. Please reply or check out our website and see why you didn't get in. A lot of schools do that, and you can see, like, you can compare GPA or you can compare animal experience hours with their hours that they liked or their average hours based on their class and stuff like that. So they do that. Or you can get good news saying, congratulations, you're accepted for interviews. Now schedule your interview time. My personal experience, I literally got an interview and the scheduled interview date was like 4 days from the email that I got. So you gotta book that flight, get out there and do the interview. Not a lot of places do Skype or webcam interviews. I think most of the places that only do that are international, or in the Caribbean and stuff like that, because I know not a lot of people can just fly out there out of nowhere. So you fly out there, get ready for your interviews. The key thing I learned about interviews, look up the school's interview process. Different schools have different types of questions they ask. I heard from some people that their school were asking like actual like scientific questions and like clinical based questions, like what would you do in this situation in a clinic. But I feel like that's what you're learning in vet school, so that shouldn't be a thing that they ask you, especially if some people don't have a bunch of clinical experience. They can have research experience as well. And so what the questions that I liked and what I received from my school were more of like problem-based questions or like working with a team and stuff like that, or like when you had issues working with somebody that wanted to take control and were like doing things wrong, like questions like that. So look up the interview process for the school that you're going to. If you Google the school and their interview questions, there's probably tons of example questions online. So that's what I did. I printed that out, and I was on the plane on my way to California, just answering the questions over and over again, making sure I had what I wanted to say right, and pretty much making sure I answer the question. Because if you don't answer the question, then they're going to ask you again, and it's just a whole big deal, and it's not even worth it. Just make sure you're answering the question properly. During the interview, be yourself. They do not want somebody robotic that's just programmed to answer these questions correctly and that's it. Have fun with it. Be yourself. Show your personality, because that's what they want to see. They want to see that you're able to engage with people and communicate with people properly. They don't want someone that's going to be in the vet clinic like, yes, your dog has this. Okay, thank you. Bye. Like, that's not what they want. So just be yourself. Have fun. If you're having fun, they're going to have fun and they're going to remember you. And I mean, there's the obvious, dress professionally. Like, you don't want to come in there with a crop top, booty shorts. So you want to come in and have like a little suit skirt, little blazer, a little button up. So I think that one's very self-explanatory. Don't dress like a THOT. There you go. Another key thing about interviews is ask questions. They love it when you ask questions. They love it when you're engaged, when you seem like you're interested in going to the school, which not seem, you probably are, obviously, if you're that far into it. So ask them questions. You can ask them personal questions about their career, because they're usually veterinarians or professors that are interviewing you. So you can go in, ask them about their career, like the paths they took, especially if you have time. Now, don't avoid the questions and ask them all of your own questions. Make sure you're answering the questions, and then when there's a little time left, you're able to ask those questions. Now it's the waiting game. Waiting. So you pretty much are waiting for an email. I heard some people get phone calls, which I mentioned earlier, and pretty much they're letting you know if you got in or if you did not. So there's 3 options on getting in. 1, you can be accepted. Yes, you got accepted, which is awesome. The second one is the wait list, which isn't bad, because a lot of people apply to more than one school. And when they apply to more than one school and choose another school that they wanted to go to, those waitlisted people get moved up on that list and you get accepted. A lot of schools say that the wait list isn't really in a certain order, but they really don't disclose that to you or what order you're in on that wait list. It's pretty much just the waiting game. So you can get in from when they start accepting people, which sometimes they accept people within December, January, February, so on in those few months. And then you cannot get accepted until July, like a month or a week before school even starts. So it's really up to the school and their cutoff times on when people need to accept if they're going to that school or not. And the last one, I'm sorry and unfortunately, is that you got denied. And I don't want people to get discouraged when you get denied. A lot of people get denied on their first try. There's not that many vet schools in the United States. There's only about like 28, 29, I believe now with Arizona State. Yeah, so there's only a few amount of vet schools in the United States. So don't get discouraged. I know it's not good to have a plan B, because if you have a plan B, then the plan A is not what you really wanted to do in the first place. Whatever, okay? It's just realistic to me. So I would come up with a plan, come up with a game plan. I didn't get accepted my first try. So what I did is I wanted to diversify my animal experience. So I took a trip of a lifetime. I went to South Africa. I worked with the wildlife there, giraffes, cheetahs, elephants, everything. It was amazing. I used that time to do that. I used the time to work more in the clinic, get my clinical experience up. You can even retake classes. I went to Colorado State and did my master's there, animal anatomy, biomedical sciences concentration. It was great. I feel like that helped me. So do not get discouraged if you do not make it. Make a plan, execute the plan, and reapply, and you'll be good. So yeah, guys, that is the end on my video on how to get into vet school. Now, don't quote me on anything. I'm just telling you my experience, telling you what I've learned when I was applying. I applied 2 years ago. So take what you will with a grain of salt. Grain of salt. I always want to say grain of salt. Grain of salt. Grain of salt. Because I know the saying, guys. Anyway. So yeah, that's the end of my video. If you have any questions, comment down below. Hit that like button while you're down there. Also hit that subscribe button while you're down there as well. Help a girl out trying to pay off these student loans. Also, speaking of loans, if you have any questions about vet school loans and paying them off, I can make a video about that as well. Just put it in the comments below. Let me know you want to see it, and I will get it out to you guys. So yeah, thanks.